A new full hour of local news weekdays at 7 on News Channel 5+.
Tonight, Congress and the president agree the economy needs a shot in the arm to avoid a recession. And the chairman of the Fed says better act quickly as Wall Street takes yet another triple-digit dive. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, confusion over cholesterol. Millions of you take statins every day to lower your cholesterol, but are they really doing you any good? And
can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Yes, we can. In fact, we'll take you there, but you may not recognize it.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Bernanke made a House call today and prescribed a booster shot for the ailing economy. Ben Bernanke, chairman of the Federal Reserve, told a House committee the economy needs a stimulus package right away. Congress and President Bush appear ready to provide one. The president's plan would include rebates for individual taxpayers. In the latest sign of the slowdown, the government says construction of new homes last year took the biggest drop in 27 years. All the negative economic news is hitting Wall Street hard. The Dow lost more than 300 points today. The Nasdaq dropped more than 47. So far this year, the Dow is down more than 8%. Here's Anthony Mason.
While recession worries were sending the battered stock market tumbling to a 10-month low,
call the hearing to order.
The Fed chairman was telling Congress the economy needs a rescue package, and the sooner, the better.
I think in order for this to be useful, you would need to act quite quickly.
Because the economic headwinds caused by the housing slump seem to be getting stronger.
Hey, 40,000, somebody get 45 again. Hey,
in Atlanta, now through the weekend, more than 500 foreclosed houses are being auctioned to the highest bidder.
Is it too late for a stimulus package to actually work?
I don't think so.
Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers says there's still time to contain the damage.
We can surely mitigate the downturn or accelerate the recovery. But absolutely, it would be better if we'd acted earlier. But now what we should do is act as rapidly as we can.
President Bush now acknowledges the need for emergency assistance and called members of Congress today.
And I'll probably end up voting for some stimulus package. But
the emergency economic measures Congress and the president are considering include lump sum tax rebates that would send checks directly back to taxpayers, extending unemployment benefits beyond the 26-week limit, and cutting corporate tax rates. But analysts say it's not just about the money.
Emotionally and psychologically, people will start to feel a little better. And I think that is a big hurdle right now.
The government last sent out tax rebate checks during the 2001 recession. Between July and September of that year, individuals were sent $300 checks, married couples $600. In all, 90 million households received $38 billion in rebates.
That recession, in retrospect, was one of the most short-lived in our history. And I think the rebate and stimulus program made a contribution to minimizing it.
While Congress and the White House agree action needs to be taken, there's no agreement on what the details should be. The president will meet with his economic team tomorrow morning. Katie?
Anthony, do we know anything more about what might be in the president's stimulus package?
Well, we know what's not going to be in it. The president wanted an extension of his tax cuts included. The Democrats said that's a deal breaker, and the White House has now backed away from including it.
All right. Anthony Mason. Anthony, thank you. A lot of Americans, meanwhile, can't wait for any economic stimulus package to kick in. They're in financial distress right now. Kelly Kobiea asked some experts what people can do when an economic slowdown starts hitting home.
At 67, Anita Jenkins dreams of lazy days in the Florida sun. But instead of living that dream, she's selling it.
Or maybe a spa.
Working as a travel agent so she can pay the bills.
It would be very difficult to retire today.
Why is that?
Because of the financial situation that I find myself in, and the economy today.
A widow, she's living on a single income and Social Security.
Do you worry when you look down the road and you hear all of the reports about a possible recession and you see the downturn in the housing market here?
I really do, because I'm thinking, how am I going to keep up?
Her answer?
I have a really good financial planner.
Financial planner Ellen Siegel, who says surviving a recession starts at home.
Cut your expenses, see if you can get some additional income, bring the family together and talk about what are we all going to do.
Other tips: take advantage of high food and gas prices by moving investments into energy and commodity mutual funds, and store cash in certificates of deposit instead of banks. With rates falling, you'll earn more interest that way. If you think you might lose your job, start comparing rates on backup life and health insurance now. Scale back 401k deductions to the company match and put the remaining money into CDs. Everyone should have enough money set aside to get through at least 3 months without a paycheck.
This is down in the Keys.
Anita has enough money to last a year and is still saving.
Because I just see what's coming down the road, and I have to.
Like many, she sees a rising cost of living and a job market that is anything but secure. Kelly Kobiella, CBS News, Miami.
The presidential candidates are rushing out with their own remedies for the economy. In South Carolina today, John McCain proposed cutting the corporate income tax rate by 10%. The state's Republican primary is just 2 days away. Nancy Cordes is in Lexington, South Carolina. Nancy, another Republican, meanwhile, said some pretty controversial things today.
That's right, Katie, and he's standing right behind me, Mike Huckabee, at his 5th of 7 events today. You know, the South Carolina primary is traditionally known as a kind of rough and tumble affair, and this year is shaping up to be no different.
President of the United States.
Buzzing about the state today, Mike Huckabee stirred up a hornet's nest with a surprisingly spirited defense of the Confederate flag.
In fact, if somebody came to Arkansas and told us what to do with our flag, we'd tell them where to put the pole. That's what we do.
It's red meat for many of the state's Republicans, but the flag is considered a symbol of slavery by others, including Huckabee's main rival here, John McCain. Meantime, the McCain campaign says it's deploying a truth squad to fend off the kind of dirty tricks that sunk the senator here 8 years ago. Staffers say they found this pamphlet suggesting the Vietnam War hero sold out his fellow POWs.
You know that a lot of nasty things are going on. Ignore that kind of stuff.
Looking to stay out of the fray in a state where his prospects are dim, Mitt Romney left South Carolina today to try his luck in Nevada. But not before getting in a verbal tussle with an agitated Associated Press reporter.
Did you hear what I said?
Over the role a lobbyist plays in his campaign.
Excuse me, Glenn. He is not in on the senior strategy meetings of our campaign.
Was he in debate sessions at all? Anytime? He's never.
At any time? Has he ever been in a debate session? Sure.
The war of words prompted Romney's spokesman to end the press conference and chastise the reporter.
A senior advisor is a registered lobbyist.
After having success with an economic message in Michigan, Romney now says he plans to release an economic stimulus proposal for the U.S. within the next 2 days, hoping, Katie, to try and steal a little bit of thunder from the South Carolina primary.
All right, Nancy Cordes reporting from Lexington, South Carolina tonight. Now to the Democrats. A court ruling today could give an edge to Barack Obama in Saturday's Nevada caucuses. A federal judge ruled Democrats can, in fact, set up 9 special caucus sites along the Las Vegas Strip. That will make it a lot easier for casino shift workers to participate. Last week, their union, 60,000 strong, endorsed Obama. To Capitol Hill now, where veterans charities went under the microscope today, and the founder of one charity finally had to answer some tough questions, including why so little of the money raised actually goes to help the vets themselves. Here's Cheryl Atkinson.
Charity mogul Roger Chapin, who ducked a congressional hearing last month, appeared under subpoena today and put up a feisty defense of what he says he's provided vets.
$362 million worth of value. If we hadn't been here, it wouldn't have been done, and I am damn proud of it.
But Chapin's charity, Help Hospitalized Vets, rates an F from a watchdog group for spending just 25 cents of every donated dollar on vets, mostly for craft kits.
I've tried everything under the sun to lower our fundraising.
How about reducing your salary?
Excuse me?
Chapin and his wife get big salaries, and he has a pension for life. Donations have also been used to buy a condo near D.C., a loan to help an executive settle his divorce, and a fancy golf club membership. And a huge chunk of donations, $14 million, has gone to the direct mail company owned by Chapin's longtime buddy, Richard Viguerie. When Congressman Chris Shea said donors ought to be told that only a quarter of their money will actually go to vets, Chapin had a surprisingly candid response.
If we disclose, which I'm more than happy to do, we'll all be out of business.
You're basically saying if the public knew, they wouldn't contribute.
Yes. Hey, I'm trying to be straight with you guys.
The practices aren't illegal, but some in Congress say they should be and are considering ways to rein in so-called overhead costs of charities, or at least make them tell donors more about how their money's really spent. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
Turning overseas now, a British Airways Boeing 777 crash landed just short of a runway at London's Heathrow Airport. The plane was coming in from Beijing with more than 150 on board. At least 19 injuries were reported. Officials from the FAA and the NTSB are headed to London to help investigate what went wrong. The Boeing 777 hadn't had a major accident since it came into use in 1995, and more than 500 of them are in service worldwide. There is much more CBS News ahead. We'll take you down memory lane to Sesame Street. Those sunny days may not seem as bright as they once did. We'll explain. But up next, the cholesterol controversy. Are too many people taking statin drugs they don't really need?
Here's the sky. Enterprise Rent-A-Car helps keep clean by its pledge to plant this tree and 50 million others. Because at Enterprise, more than our logo is green.
Morning, kids.
Oh, pancakes.
I knew you'd be happy.
Bisquick Shake and Pour. Just add water, shake and pour. Bisquick Shake and Pour. Shake, pour, make.
When we have new Asian garlic shrimp and new fire-grilled tequila lime shrimp, not to mention Red Lobster classics like shrimp scampi and hand-breaded shrimp, it's not fair to make you choose just one. So we won't. For a limited time, you can pair the two that you like best together. From any of our chefs' new creations to classic favorites. Every time you visit, it's a new experience. At Red Lobster, come see what's fresh today.
That ought to do it.
Assuming you've done enough for retirement doesn't make much sense either. That's why you should invest with Edward Jones to make sure you're on the right track. Because 2 out of 3 Americans are unprepared for retirement. Don't be one of them. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Force Flex trash bags are so strong, one bag is all you need to pick up the pieces from even your biggest disasters.
Where do you want the piano?
Get Glad Force Flex and find out why 7 out of 10 consumers prefer it over the other leading brand.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Life is better when things work in harmony. That's why at CVS Pharmacy, we do a comprehensive check of your prescriptions to make sure they work together.
It's just another ordinary
CVS Pharmacy, for all the ways you care.
A new class of prescription drugs burst onto the scene over the last 15 years called statins. Designed to lower cholesterol, they're now taken by more than 18 million Americans. And statins are a $21 billion industry. But do all the people taking them really need to be? CBS News teamed up with Business Week magazine to investigate. And here's our Dr. John LaPook with what we found out.
As an architect, David Mulliken specializes in unique designs for beachfront homes. So when his doctor told him to take Lipitor to treat his high cholesterol, he had a better idea.
I don't want to do a prescription medicine, so I was going to try to figure out a way around it. You know, I took the prescription home with me, but I never filled it, though.
Instead, he chose to lower cholesterol the hard way, through diet and exercise. America's obsession with cholesterol numbers has led us to depend on statins as the easy way to fight heart disease. And why not? It's hard to ignore the ads. This advertisement for Lipitor boasts a 36% reduction in heart attacks. But there's a reason for this asterisk. The benefit may not be as dramatic as you think. The study in the ad split people into two groups. For over 3 years, one group took Lipitor, the other a placebo. For every 100 people in the placebo group, there were 3 heart attacks. In the Lipitor group, there were 2. That means 100 people had to take Lipitor for more than 3 years to spare just one person from a heart attack.
We joke around and say you can never be too rich or have too low a cholesterol, although we don't really know that. We just think we do.
Statins do one thing extremely well. They lower cholesterol, especially bad cholesterol. And doctors agree there's one group of people who definitely should be taking them.
In people with known heart disease, this has become a standard of care that you really need to be on a statin.
But what about the millions of people with elevated cholesterol who are taking statins but have no heart disease or other risk factors like high blood pressure, family history, or diabetes? Here's where the controversy heats up.
We have no evidence that taking a cholesterol-lowering medication like a statin will prevent them from getting heart disease.
Dr. Elizabeth Nabel oversaw government guidelines that say, don't consider statins in patients with low risk factors unless their bad cholesterol is over 160. That hasn't stopped the statin craze.
We have been perhaps driven too quickly into this sort of assumption and this model that it's all about the cholesterol number, and if we can just lower that number, everything is better.
But statins have side effects and cost money. What's more, they may give a false sense of security. Patients may be tempted to ignore high blood pressure, diet, and exercise.
Doesn't a guy like me want to believe that I could go eat a greasy cheeseburger with fries and make that extra fries, and then if I just swallow this pill, everything will be great?
David Mulliken's approach worked. He lost 30 pounds and lowered his cholesterol without a pill.
All right, John. So to reiterate, who should be taking statins?
If you're at high risk, you've had a heart attack, or you have known heart disease, then you probably should be taking a statin. But if you are at low risk and your cholesterol just happens to be a little bit elevated, we don't know whether or not taking a statin actually helps over the long run.
And how can you figure out if you're at low risk versus high risk? Because there are a variety of risk factors that you have to consider, right?
Absolutely. There's actually a great tool that's made by the NIH. You can figure your risk factors out on the web, and we have that on our website tonight. You plug in your age, your cholesterol, whether or not you're a smoker, do you have high blood pressure, you hit click and it tells you what your risk for heart attack over the next 10 years is.
And I guess the big concern is people who take statins, as we heard in the piece, will ignore other risk factors or lifestyle issues and feel like they're safe only because they're taking this pill.
Right. That may be a hidden side effect of a statin. People sitting around, their cholesterol is low on the statin, and they think, I don't have to worry, I don't have to exercise, I don't have to eat well. Meanwhile, they're getting diabetic, they have high blood pressure, and those risk factors can really increase your chances of getting a heart attack.
All right. Dr. John LaPook. John, thank you so much. To learn how you can lower your cholesterol without medication, you can go to cbsnews.com, click on CBS Evening News, and you'll find our cholesterol resource guide. And for more information about statins, you can go to businessweek.com. The magazine will be on newsstands tomorrow. When we come back, Al-Qaeda's web of terror, how it's luring new recruits with its own version of MySpace.
Rushing around, working hard, taking care of our kids. All this makes us feel run down.
Did you know that a hectic life can weaken your body's defenses? Drink Dan Active. It's clinically proven to help strengthen your body's defenses.
Working in a hospital means lots of hand washing.
And extremely dry skin.
Gold Bond Ultimate Healing Lotion. 7 intensive moisturizers, 3 vitamins, plus healing aloe for healthy skin.
Can your lotion do that?
This stuff really works.
Is that the hearty chicken rotini diet?
It's the Manhattan clam chowder diet.
It's different.
It's the turkey noodle diet.
It's working for you.
Counting calories never tasted better because 25 of your favorite Progresso soups are 100 calories per serving.
Is that chicken and wild rice? Yes.
Her bread always came from her oven. Her pot roast took all day. That's how grandmas show their love. Marie Callender's does it with the flaky crust and juicy white meat in her chicken pot pies. Marie Callender's.
As an investor, you want someone to be there for you and not just when the market's open or if your account is big enough. TD Ameritrade offers 24/7 phone support from licensed staff in 100 branch offices. Ask a question, get help with a retirement plan, someone's always there. With TD Ameritrade, you make your own decisions, but you're never really alone.
Call 1-877-TD Ameritrade or go to tdameritrade.com/IRA to open an easy IRA today.
I'm an eye doctor and a patient. My natural ability to produce tears is reduced by a certain type of chronic dry eye. I tried all kinds of over-the-counter eye drops, and they weren't enough. So now I use exactly what I prescribe for many of my patients, Restasis. It's the only prescription eye drop to help increase tear production, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Since Restasis helps me make more of my own tears, I use fewer over-the-counter drops. Restasis shouldn't be used by patients with active eye infections and hasn't been studied in patients with a history of herpes viral infections of the eye. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation. One drop, twice a day, with continued use, helps you make more of your own tears.
Go to Restasis3.com or call 1-800-913-3079 for this free information kit and a $20 rebate.
Don't wait for your annual appointment. Call your eye doctor today to see if Restasis is right for you. It is for me. Thanks, Restasis.
A new report out today by terror experts says Al-Qaeda is changing its tactics. It's going digital in a big way. Bob Orr reports.
The internet has long been an Al-Qaeda stronghold, a center for raising money and spreading propaganda. A record 97 messages were posted in 2007. But now the cyber world has also largely replaced conventional training camps and has become the place where Islamic radicals are recruited, trained, and then sent on their way to carry out attacks.
It's a meeting place for would-be terrorists.
Correct. Hence the term Al-Qaeda's MySpace, yes.
Eric Markar is the senior editor of the West Point Combating Terrorism Center, which today published this report, claiming radical websites have evolved into a disturbing MySpace-like social networking hub for extremists, intent on becoming the next generation of terrorists, hijackers, and even suicide bombers.
They put vast amounts of literature on these websites, texts justifying attacks through Islam, military training tactics, bomb-making skills. All of this, or much of this, has gone online.
They talk to you, and they befriend you, and then they recruit you into becoming a member of Al-Qaeda.
Ali Al-Ahmed tracks terrorist websites for CBS News. He says many are one-stop shops for aspiring suicide bombers.
So I could go in and I could find somebody, A, to tell me about the organization.
Absolutely.
Train me in how to do certain attacks.
Yes.
And then maybe give me directions on where I should go.
Absolutely.
And there is no shortage of interest. Pro-Al-Qaeda internet sites have recorded millions of hits from potential recruits called to jihad on the World Wide Web. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
In California today, scientists reported cloning human embryos using skin cells from two men. The scientists claim to be the first to have created human clones that could potentially yield embryonic stem cells. Coming up next, the Sesame Street videos that carry an adults-only warning. Stay tuned.
That ought to do it.
Assuming you've done enough for retirement doesn't make much sense either. That's why you should invest with Edward Jones to make sure you're on the right track.
Introducing Payne's newest Vanishing Act.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Now the power of Icy Hot glides on icy to dull pain, then gets hot to relax it away, and the scent vanishes.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Make pain and scent a Vanishing Act.
Her bread always came from her oven. She spent all day on her pot roast, and the buttons on her gingerbread men had to be double chocolate chip. That's how grandmas showed their love. Marie Callender's does it with her chicken pot pie. A flaky crust filled with juicy white meat, tender vegetables, and absolutely no shortcuts. Marie Callender's. Marie's dinners are also filled with her special touches and real ingredients.
The incumbent has not run a clean campaign. Dirty tactics, spotty performance. There's a trail of dirt leading right to your door.
Your response?
It's time for your mop to step down. Get the 5 signs of clean with Swiffer WetJet. It cleans better than a mop. WetJet traps the dirt that mops can leave behind. For a clean you can see.
The floor is all yours.
Visible clean. One of the 5 signs. Swiffer gives cleaning a whole new meaning.
We're at the home of the Applebee's apple.
Come on in. This is my living room. Picked out that chair myself. And the bed.
So, No dining room?
I do my dining at Applebee's because I like dinner my way too.
Pick any delicious entree, appetizer, and dessert with Applebee's 3-Course Classics. Over 200 amazing combinations, starting at $9.99.
A 3-course meal for only $9.99? Wow.
Welcome to my world. Applebee's. Get it together, baby.
Instant gratification has us in a stranglehold. So much so that we don't want to fix things anymore. Just replace them. Don't like your nose? Get a new one. Don't like your job? Get a new one. Don't like your spouse? Get a new one. Whatever happened to commitment?
The 2008 Sonata, ready for the long haul with America's best warranty and $1,000 cash back.
Let's go on to our top story.
There's a fresh new way to do it early.
Morning. Coming up in just moments on News Channel 5 at 6, the man who stole those computers from the Davidson County election offices turned himself in, but where are those computers? At 6.
And maybe it seemed a little strange all those years later. It's not quite the way you remembered it. Come along now as Richard Schlesinger takes you back to a street where a lot of kids grew up.
There's something wrong with this picture.
Everything happens here.
There's even something wrong with this one. They are from the original Sesame Street and could be too seedy for today's kids. The first few seasons have just been released and come with, of all things, a warning.
These early Sesame Street episodes are intended for grown-ups and may not suit the needs of today's preschool child.
Sesame was created in the 60s, and it was a bit edgier, if you will.
Sherry Rollins Weston is with the company that produces Sesame Street.
See that pipe? Let's go through it.
What parent today would want their child to see kids running through a construction site or jumping on an old box spring? Scenes like these would probably not make it into the program now.
We wouldn't have children on the set riding without a bicycle helmet.
And what's that little girl doing with that man?
Gordon takes a little girl's hand whom he just met on the street. He takes her into his home and gives her ice cream. Now, that's not something we would include in the show today.
Today's kids might notice a few more differences in the original Sesame Street if they pay attention.
Did it look like Sesame Street that you'd seen before?
No, Oscar didn't look the same because it's supposed to be green.
Oscar turned green in season 2, but some of today's producers thought the early Oscar might be too grouchy. And Cookie Monster, well, his diet is a problem when today's parents are worried about childhood obesity. He also smoked a pipe in one sketch, ate it too. Still, none of these grown-ups thought the old episodes needed any warning.
Absolutely not. If we're guilty of anything, it's perhaps taking our responsibility to children too seriously.
Without the letter W, we couldn't spell Russell.
It's serious business, Sesame Street, and as times change, the characters have to keep up.
Well, everyone makes mistakes, so why can't you?
Even though some things haven't changed since episode 1.
Who is your favorite character?
I like Bird.
You like the bird?
Yeah, because he was really handsome.
I made a few mistakes myself.
Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, New York.
And in case you're wondering, tonight's broadcast was brought to you by the letters C, B, and S. I'm Katie Couric. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Thermacare. Don't let painful arthritis flare-ups change the way you see things. With new Thermacare Arthritis Heat Wraps, you'll get 12 hours of heat for relief that lasts all day. New Thermacare Arthritis Heat Wraps, available for hand, knee, neck, and shoulder.
This Alaskan congressman tried to give a South Florida town $10 million. Why did they refuse? We follow the money. Tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
I need my money because I paid you $700.
Trouble in Antioch. Upset vendors say they paid good money to take part in a flea market that didn't happen.
And problems at the Benton County Animal Shelter have some calling for the county mayor to lose his job. Why? I'm Rodney Dunnigan. I'll let you know in a live report.
New information tonight about the Election Commission break-in. Police have recovered part of the computer system that was stolen.
And another arrest in the deadly bank robbery in Clarksville. Turns out there were 3.
And we're watching a cold front come in with a few showers ahead of it. That is not the coldest air that we're going to be seeing over the next few days, though. Your news begins now.
From your news and information leader, Tennessee's first and only local news in high definition. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening. Police plan to make an arrest tomorrow in the gruesome discovery at a mid-state animal shelter.
But today, animal activists